We are less than 48 hours away from Mario Kart World's release. And what should be a time of nothing but pure joy and hype is unfortunately a time to rant. Because today, Nintendo confirmed that Mario Kart World will not have 200cc at launch. But they are considering it for a future update. So, if you guys are angry about that like I am, this is a place to just get your frustrations out with Mario Kart World. There's been a lot of talk about the game, but yeah. Oh boy. I didn't want to make this live stream, but the thing is, well, might as well. If there's a problem, might as well party. So, good evening everyone. We're gonna do some Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. This is actually not going to be the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe final stream, because I will be streaming Mario Kart 8 Deluxe still throughout the Nintendo Switch 2's life. I know that when a new system releases, the old one just doesn't magically disappear like a diva, but everybody's gonna still be playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, sometimes. And there's a reason for that, because there's give and take with Mario Kart World versus Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Thing is, I was expecting Mario Kart World to completely antiquate Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Like, I expected to never have to go back to 8 Deluxe. But no. There's a lot of problems, a lot of features missing, so let's talk about them tonight. $80 is pure greed. Yeah, the thing is, though, with the price point, sure it's been talked about to death, but at the same time, you see stuff like this, where they couldn't even include 200cc at launch. I'm sorry, tell me how much this game is again? Just tell me. $80? For a game that's missing 3 battle modes? It's missing 200cc? It only has 32 tracks? You gotta be freaking kidding me. And the problem is that, with actual criticisms of Mario Kart World, there's a lot of videos that are just negative for the sake of being negative about Nintendo. You know the usual ones. Sometimes they have an AI-generated greedy Mario thumbnail. Other times they like to use fancy words like gaslighting or manufactured hype. But the thing is, I like to call those videos sodium chloride Nintendo hate videos. We could just call them sodium chloride videos for short. Why'd I call them sodium chloride videos? Well, pretty much the premise of those videos are either using buzzwords to make a topic out of something. Oh, thank you for the super chat. I'm upset that the number of costumes between characters is uneven. I'm upset about that too. I think that at the very least, there should be a default costume, like just a hat for a landmark of a track. It shouldn't be that hard, but unfortunately that's just what Nintendo's doing. But going back to sodium chloride videos, the reason why I call them sodium chloride is because they use buzzwords like gaslighting just to sound fancy, manufactured hype, when the reality is it's just using a big word to make an argument seem intelligent. When the fact of the matter is, manufactured hype for the Nintendo Switch 2? You're trying to tell me we go almost a decade without a new console generation? And 11 years without a new Mario Kart or Donkey Kong? No, Nintendo fans couldn't ever be excited for that. That's what I said, guys. Sodium chloride. Yeah, I just posted the rant today. I don't like how it's uneven between characters, but at the same time, it's just like, I'm not expecting all characters to have the same amount of costumes. But what I am expecting is at least have some. They really did Pauline dirty. Like, she only has two costumes, a default and then the biker outfit. Donkey Kong only has 2 costumes too. They should have brought back Gladiator Donkey Kong from Mario Kart Tour. Yeah, Rampin', that's pretty much what I think of those channels. Come on. Spike doesn't have any costumes. I don't think any of the enemies do, except for Koopa Troopa and Shy Guy, Lakitu. It's an interesting discrepancy. Let me just adjust this. Yeah, I'm currently with my girlfriend during the stream. She's not going to be a part of it, so she's just relaxing. I think watching a podcast. Well, I talk about Mario Kart. It's an $80 game with $50 effort. I saw that comment today, and that's how I'm feeling. I'm very excited for it too. You can still be excited for Mario Kart World. I think most Nintendo fans are excited for it. But the thing is, I just was expecting something revolutionary. Which, I mean, it's been almost 11, or it's been over 11 years. I think it was fair to expect a lot more. Going from something incredible like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe to something just good, it's not a good thing. It's kind of like what happened to Paper Mario, where some of the games were decent, but going from something mind-blowing like Thousand Year Door to Color Splash, it's just like not a good thing. Although I will say, Sticker Star was a bad game. Need to replay Color Splash though. That's another funny thing. In Sonic Crossworlds, they have SpongeBob as a character apparently. Luke, thank you for the donation. That is very kind of you. Demetrius' extreme mega killer rant about how Mario Kart World's unfinished. It's not unfinished, it's just incomplete. It's really hard to do 200cc with my laptop because it's like 30 frames per second. It's like, unless I look at the TV like that. Nintendo also said something about they can't say whether or not Diddy Kong will be in Mario Kart World. Free updates. I do remember you, Dr. Orange. I saw your comment on Nintendo Land short. Very glad you like Mario Kart Origins. But the thing is, it's just like... Alright, the main problem I have is the amount of tracks and the lack of battle modes. Like, I don't get it. Why is Nintendo still fumbling with battle mode? The entire point of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was to give Mario Kart a good battle mode. And now they're just reverting back, although I will say it's not as bad. It's not like you're just racing on racetracks for battle mode. That's what it feels like. It feels like an alternative. It feels like a sort of reboot. But the thing is, it's been so long, standards change, I expected more. I don't think Mario Kart World's gonna be that bad, but it's just like, there's so much more needed. You just raise this up so you can see the Pac-Man hat. I enjoyed the battle mode in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I thought it was great. Thank you for the donation! Battle mode is too basic for a game like this. Are we talking about Mario Kart World? Yeah. What they really should have done is a battle royale of sorts. That would be really cool. Like if they did a full-on 100-player battle royale in battle mode, that'd be awesome. But of course, they didn't do that. They were just banking on free roam, even though free roam just doesn't look to have much other than missions going on. No Roy, no purchase. Soshi, thank you for the super chat. Super chats are coming in tonight. We're going for a goal of $100. So let's see if we can get there tonight. Yeah, where are the Koopalings? That's another thing. Now with characters, I will say, I'm a little more forgiving because I do like the roster. And it's not that many fan favorites missing. It's nothing like Mario Kart 7. Oh, thank you for the donation, Mama Luigi. It does kind of look like the unofficial Arcade Grand Prix too. Hey, Rob. What's going on? Roboto, yeah. And that's another thing. Rob is designated to a bike. I am kind of glad that Mario Kart World is focusing on the Mario universe. That's what I like about the enemies and stuff. Like, it is Mario Kart after all. I will admit, I would want Namco characters, but that is completely because I am biased towards the Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix games. No logic there whatsoever. Just personal preference. Someone made free roam for Mario Kart Wii. It's pretty much like one gigantic track. That's what free roam is. It's like the Pangea of Mario Kart. And if you don't know what Pangea is, it was when all the continents were pretty much connected. And then over time they drifted apart. I think that the game, at worst, would be a 7 out of 10, although I am probably going to feel underwhelmed by it. It should have been Everyone Is Here. That's the route they were going in Mario Kart Tour. It's not that hard to add more characters to Mario Kart. All you have to do is make the model, animate it, boom, good to go. But while the amount of characters is great, and the new additions are really fun, some of them are just sloppily included. Like I saw footage of Dolphin today just begging to grip onto the handles of a bike. But no. It just, unfortunately, gives Mario Kart World this feeling of looking cheap and unprofessional when you have characters like Sidestepper and Dolphin, who very visibly could grip the handles. It's just like, that's lazy. Thank you for the donation, Froucher. That is very kind of you. Would you rather have Nintendo make a high-end console alongside a smaller, less powerful? No. I'd rather have them continue to make Switches. Switch 2 is very powerful. They went the right direction for that. That's a good point, Aqua Twist. You definitely got to balance out the stats. Crazy to think that Sega's potentially getting SpongeBob for Crossworlds. Meanwhile, Mario Kart World removed a lot of fan-favorite Mario characters from previous games. I'm okay with the dead fish. I really am. I enjoy the dead fish bones being in the game. Nintendo was going to have the roster be the way they wanted it anyway, so I think in that case, I kind of just judge it as is. Although I do want certain characters. I even want Pink Gold Peach back. My main Wiggler is playable. I'm glad too. Code's in the description, old boy. Sonic also has Minecraft and Ninja Turtles. It's interesting that it's an actual crossover with so many different series. Here's the thing with Sonic Crossworlds. This happens all the time when there's like a competing Nintendo game. There's going to be talk about some things being better than Mario Kart World, but I don't think it's going to be. Just like how Sonic Colors Ultimate was not better than Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. Although I would say that's a pretty lazy remaster. So with Mario Kart World, you have 32 tracks. How do you guys feel about that? Because now getting used to 96 tracks, I'm not expecting that day one. But 32, that's a bit low, don't you think? Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, yeah, it was a Wii U port. But at the same time, nobody had a Wii U, so this is a new game. That should be the standard. But 32 tracks, and considering that Crown City and another track, I believe Peach Stadium, are repeated, it just is like, what? Why? Why are there only 32 tracks? You're telling me that this game that's been in development for 8 years can only manage to have 32 tracks? I kind of have a feeling that they were wasting their time with Mario Kart Tour. Like, you saw how much support that game got? Every 2 weeks there was like, new content, a lot of new tracks, stuff like that. All in the end for a game that just did okay. It didn't fail, but it didn't do record numbers. It's all in the public records. Soshi, where is that from? I feel like they started development in 2017, then they just smoked a blunt for, I would say, a good 5 of those years. And then went back to it. It's just like Animal Crossing New Horizons, they said a similar thing about. Like, that game was in development for, I think it was 8 years. And then you look at the game and it's like, yeah, no. Could be conceived, like, as an idea 8 years ago. And also there is the fact that this was going to be an original Nintendo Switch game. And it very clearly shows with the presentation of the game. I do like the art style to an extent, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, there's no comparison. That game just looks so much more impressive. Sans Booster Course Pass. Now, don't get me wrong, it's still a good-looking game, but I just wish it was more impressive. Thank you for the donation, Mama Luigi! Very kind of you. We are currently at $28.97 in chat revenue, so we are getting close to 100. Need 70, about 72 to get there. I'll not be surprised if some arcade Grand Prix devs worked on Crossworlds, since apparently they got laid off by Bandai Namco. Really? Oh, Rod's in the chat? Yeah, I met Rod at Too Many Games. I don't think I'll be going this year, though. PAX West for sure, though. I like the snowman being playable. I think that's cool. I love having those weird characters that are just like completely out there. That I like to see. I just don't like when it's missing fan favorites, but you know what? It's not that much the end of the world. No, thank God I didn't meet him. That is someone I would never want to meet. Yeah, there's been a data mine for Mario Kart Tour where it said that there's going to be like some new content, probably just to tie into Mario Kart World. I would expect them to include the standard. Thank you, Generic Rust, for the donation. Honestly, really glad DK has pretty much dodged the controversy. Yeah, I'm excited about that. Honestly, at one point, Mario Kart World was like more hype for me than Donkey Kong Bonanza. But then, as it progressed, and that's not even accounting for any of the discourse, Donkey Kong Bonanza just resonated so much with me. I was showing my girlfriend the trailer for Mario Kart World and the trailer for Donkey Kong Bonanza. She's more excited for Mario Kart World, which, you know, I definitely don't agree with there. I think Mario Kart World's still exciting, though. I'm not going to be making videos anytime soon that include some fancy buzzwords. I'm not going to make some sodium chloride videos about it. But I will be doing a full review. I'll give my first impressions. I'll do a Trash or Treasure Battle Royale, Mario Kart World versus Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And then, of course, you're going to have those usual suspects saying things like, oh, just compare it to base Mario Kart 8. Honestly, I think that Nintendo Switch 2, the feature it needed the most is a direct wire transfer directly to Nintendo's bank account. They shouldn't even make games. They should just have you have the option to donate directly to Nintendo. I'm a huge fan of Moo Moo being in the game. I think that Moo Moo is the most memed character, but to be real, I mean, I wasn't that surprised. I wasn't that surprised seeing Moo Moo. I kind of thought they were going to go in that direction. Just compare Mario Kart World to Super Mario Kart. It's not unfinished, it's just incomplete. I mean, in Custom Track Grand Prix 7, the banana's a playable character. Banana bread. I honestly don't want to spend too much energy getting frustrated about Mario Kart World. I'll just see if it's underwhelmed or impressed when I play it. Reese, I get where you're coming from, man, but at the same time, it's just cathartic. A lot of things about the game are just pissing me off. I don't even think it's going to be a bad game. It's just when something that should be incredible is just good, that's a downgrade. Do you want to join the stream, Reese? You can be a featured guest. If you ignored how many years passed since Mario Kart 8, the console and game being $500 and looking worse than a game over a decade ago, then it's a gem. Alright, we're going to have Reese as part of the stream. I'm going to give you a call after this race. Yeah, Nintendo games do go on sale occasionally. That's a myth that they never do. They never go on sale permanently, but they do go on sale sometimes. In my opinion, Star Fox Zero is a reimagining of 64 and not even an original game. The last was Star Fox Command. I heard Star Fox Command was terrible. I hope that for Switch 2, Nintendo finally knows what to do with Star Fox. As long as it's not a multiplayer game, Nintendo's pretty good when it comes to their regular games. Hello, Melissa! You're right behind me, but you're also in the chat. I shouldn't have chose 200cc with my monitor. Also, I don't think it's gonna have mirror mode, but mirror mode kind of reeked. I'd rather have them do reverse mode, but hey, I mean, why not just have more content? Is it really that hard? Now, the funny thing about Nintendo fanboys is that whenever you say something that they don't agree with, it's like they make a video criticizing you and your style because they get pissed off at an opinion you make. You want to know what started? I remember back in 2022, Harmon Smith made some reactions, but you know what? I will say this. Harmon Smith, regardless of how much I disagree with his opinions, he says them exactly how he feels. That's what I like about him. He has no filter. Thumbnails no filter either. It's kind of refreshing to see despite how crazy some of it can be. I don't like when people pretend to be dignified and like, oh, Dimitri is criticizing Nintendo, he just needs to be nicer to them. Like, oh, I agree with what he's saying, just sugarcoat it. Like, no, I'm not gonna do that. That's so stupid. I'm not like mirror mode that much. The only thing it was good for is unlocking Rob. It's a coping mechanism. Can you just imagine how many times you could stay at the Motel 6 for the cost of Mario Kart World? Probably stay twice. Oh, he is. He definitely is. 100%, but still. He says his thoughts as he thinks. It's definitely crazy, but it's still hilarious at times. Let me just make sure that the speaker is working on Discord. I'm gonna have Reese as part of the stream. Reese's Puffs. Peanut butter salsa flavor. Alright, we are at 33.96. So let's get to 100, guys. I'm gonna need it.
Hey,
what?
It's me, Andre from Game Explained.
Hey, would you happen to give some super chats, Andre?
No. Make your review of
Final Fantasy, I think it was.
Yeah, Final Fantasy, Nintendo Switch 2 edition. Actually, you have to wait until the week that releases because they have to give you the review copy, and then you'll have to grind in the basement. And I will give you a single nickel if you complete that.
Wow, that's more than I make in a year. That's how much SpongeBob apparently gets paid.
But yeah, I was just gonna say with my comment, that's just something that I personally feel. I completely agree with your criticism of Mario Kart World. I think it really sucks that 200cc isn't gonna be in the game. I think it's crazy that it's not. I was just saying, just personally, I'm just kind of tired from all the crap that has been just going on with everything. So I just kind of like keep some of it to myself, but also I have been doing like a few critical videos on my channel. I think criticism is very important, and I think that it's really good that you're calling out a lot of like things. But I was just saying, just me personally,
Oh, I totally get it. I mean,
yeah.
I don't really want this new Mario Kart to reek. I mean, sure, it'd make for some content and get a lot of views from it, but I don't care. I just want the game to be amazing. I think it's going to be good, but I don't think it's going to be incredible. Yeah, your comment about Harmon Smith, it's just like, yeah, I think that's pretty gross. But I'm talking about his takes on Nintendo. Football especially was really funny.
Someone said that they can't hear me very well.
Here, let me fix that. After the race.
Okay.
Or actually, I'll just do it now. Probably gonna lag behind in the race, but that's okay. Oh, the Discord call.
Yeah.
It's not even working. Alright, try now?
Okay. Yeah,
We fixed it.
Yep. Okay, that's good.
Dude,
But
I got
yeah,
disconnected.
you know. Oh wow.
Out of my own
Um,
stream.
but yeah, with Mario Kart World, the thing is, I have a feeling, just my prediction, just from what I've seen of the game. I feel like I'm probably gonna enjoy it. I feel like it's probably gonna be pretty fun. Um, but I do feel like there might be some aspects that I'm gonna be disappointed about. So I don't know. I just kind of want to wait and see since we're only a couple days away. But yeah, there are some things that I'm worried about, like the lack of 200cc and different things. But yeah, I
Yeah, Rod
just kind of
Marcel.
want
Yeah, that is definitely not okay. But with Mario Kart World, it's just like, I know it's gonna be fun. I know it's probably gonna be a really fun game to play during the summer. I just don't want to exhaust all the content too soon. 32
to.
tracks are
Yeah.
just, it just seems too small. But I think the bigger problem is the lack of 200cc in the 3 battle modes. And just another
Yeah.
problem I have with the battle mode, the battle arenas just, it's like, yeah, they're using part of the track. And this is not the same thing as Mario Kart 8, where that just used racetracks for battle mode. You can't really make that comparison. But what I can say is that it doesn't allow for the theming to be as unique. Like in Mario Kart Wii, for example, you got Funky Stadium, you got all these cool tracks for battling that are unique to it. But here it just kind of blends together. And I'm not a huge fan of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish they made like dedicated areas. I mean, there seemed to be like like one or two like in the trailer from what I remember. Like there was like a subway area or like a bus station or something like that. Yeah, you know you're getting some amazing themes when one of them is a bus station. But but yeah, I definitely would have preferred if they had like a big area that was like a dedicated like battle arena or something. I mean, I'm glad they're doing like Big Donut from Mario Kart 64. I think it's interesting how they incorporated that one, but more of that, I would say, and less of just some random area or like a part of the track or something. Even if it does work as a battle course, I definitely agree that there should be more like areas, like distinct areas and things.
You win this
Also,
round, broccoli. But go on.
Also, I wanted to say one thing that I've kind of found a little annoying, and that is the fact that I've seen a lot of people say that like all criticism or just people generalizing all criticism of the Switch 2 or Mario Kart World as like just a blind hate, toxicity, and rage bait. I mean, there is some of that exists, but obviously, I feel like criticism is definitely valid, and I just feel like some people really just don't like. I feel like some people just don't really want to accept the fact that the Switch 2 or Mario Kart World just have some issues.
Yeah, that's exactly
Because like
what it
I think
is.
it and people like it's really just toxic positivity, I would say. Like, and I feel like for those people, I feel like they should realize that like they're really like you could still enjoy something even if there are flaws with it. Like I think there's a lot of things like um a lot of examples. Like the Switch 1 had a lot of issues, like the Joy-Con drift. That was a massive issue. I
Yeah.
would say that's on par with like some of the Switch 2's like just issues like $80 games and things like that. And unfinished games like Nintendo Switch Sports or Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Games that you have to ignore them to be amazing.
Oh,
But
and let's talk about that. Let's talk about Pokemon for a second. They're finally fixing Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, quote unquote. You only need a new console to actually play a functional game. If you ignore the price,
and
it's
honestly,
cheap.
and honestly, it just looks like it's polishing a turd. Honestly, because the game still looks like crap, but it just like the characters are running smoothly now, and it's
Oh.
like at a higher resolution. But you still see those that horrible texture work and like these jagged like jagged kind of environments, it still looks very rough and
Right.
unpolished. I mean,
just
just the only thing that's actually running well are like the actual characters. It's like if you plop like Mario Odyssey models into like Bubsy 3D or something. I was gonna say Mario 64, but that would be an insult to Mario 64.
give me 1 second. All right, I'm just gonna. Phone's ringing.
Have to pay $450 for the game to work. Yeah, like it also shows how poorly Game Freak optimizes their games. I actually already mentioned this to the Meech, but it seems like Game Freak was just really like they really didn't know how to develop games within the limitations of the Switch's hardware, because we've seen like for so many first-party games on the Switch. I know Game Freak isn't really a first-party game, but so many Nintendo-published games that, like, even though the Switch 1 was underpowered, most developers were still making the most of it and were optimizing it so those games ran well, looked good. But Game Freak really
He's not
didn't do
actually
that.
Andre. That's Reese.
Yeah, yeah, but it seemed like Game Freak was just trying to just do whatever, just plop some random crap into their games, just try to make it like they just. It seemed like it was being held together by like
Elmer's glue and
glue
earwax
and pop. Yeah, yeah. It really didn't seem like something that would be able to run on the Switch 1 seamlessly
Oh, I think it would
at
have
all.
been able to if they actually cared about optimizing their games. The Legend of
Oh,
Zelda
yeah,
Breath
yeah,
of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are a lot bigger in scope, but the thing is,
Oh,
those
no.
run decently. Not amazingly, but they're absolutely optimized for the hardware. And another thing about Pokemon, it's like you can't say anything about the games without fans getting super defensive. And I think the best example of it, you know what started Dimitri December in the first place? Sir Musty saw the video I did reviewing Pokemon Scarlet, and that really kicked it off. Now, it was all in good fun, everything, and I don't have an issue with him. But, come on. He's definitely a Pokemon fanboy.
Also, I was just gonna say, I do agree with you when you were saying like that these Pokemon games could run on the Switch 1. I was just talking about the current state that they were in. I
Right.
think Game Freak wasn't like thinking about the Switch 1 specifications when developing them. But if they optimized them well and actually thought about the limitations of the Switch 1, I feel like they could have easily looked good on the Switch 1, but they just developed games that you would need a $450 system that's 10 times as powerful to even get the game running decently. And that's just how poorly Game Freak seems to optimize their games. And also, another thing, with Zaza, even though that game doesn't look as egregious, it looks like fine. One thing about the game that does look really lazy is the fact that they just plop a window texture onto the building. It's like completely flat, and you can see it even better in the Switch 2 version now that there's like a higher resolution. You could clearly see that they didn't model out the buildings and they just slapped a texture onto it. It just looks so lazy, and they didn't even do that they actually did model the windows and everything into the buildings in Scarlet and Violet. Even Scarlet and Violet did that. But in Zaza, it feels like they were definitely smoking it when making those buildings.
Honestly, with Pokemon, it's just like that series is a lost cause for me. If it ends up good, cool. I'm not expecting it to be, though. But I was expecting Mario Kart World to be mind-blowing, but it just isn't. It's not the Breath of the Wild or Super Mario Odyssey of the Mario Kart series. It sort of feels more like a reboot of the series, rather than like the successor and sort of reboot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what it kind of reminds me of? Kind of like how Mario Kart 8 was on the Wii U. Because you know how Mario Kart 8, like, originally was kind of underwhelming? I mean, it's, like, with its roster, I know Mario Kart World doesn't have that problem, but it has, like, other equivalent problems. But also, like, the battle mode was extremely underwhelming, and, like, it also, like, the track amount was just kind of, like, underwhelming as well. So it was, like, I feel like Mario Kart World is kind of in a similar situation to that, where, like, it's kind of weird. It seems like now, with Mario Kart games, like, just ever since, like, 8, it just seems like sometimes they just kind of start off underwhelming, which I think is just kind of ridiculous. I feel like we should kind of expect more, and I feel like that's also was a problem with 8. Like, we had to wait quite a while in order for 8, like, even though 8 is an outstanding game, I still think it was, like, in some areas, it took a little while for the game.
Is 3D All-Stars actually getting a Switch 2 edition? Or an update?
I don't...
Let me look this up.
I'm gonna check Nintendo today, because it's probably,
Probably not.
You know, with Nintendo today, I'm actually kind of surprised...
Oh, never mind then.
How, like... I'm actually kind of surprised how useful it could be sometimes, like, for news. They're actually revealing some, like, fairly interesting things on there. I thought it was gonna be something that I just, like... I'm not sure how much you use it, but, like, I do think it is, like... Especially since I don't use Twitter anymore. Like, I think it does have, like, a more efficient and more interesting way of kind of, like, sharing this. Because today I looked on there and they're actually showing, like, screenshots and things of how the game share will look, which is something that they haven't revealed before. So I'm like, oh, that's how it's gonna work. So I do think it is interesting in some ways.
Yeah, Nintendo today actually surprised me, because at first I thought it was going to be something that's an afterthought, like Nintendo Music, but no, Nintendo's treating it seriously, and that's great. I'm a huge fan of that. And they have some concept art, stuff like that, that's really cool.
And you know, also, one thing that's cool that they just revealed about game share, which is actually one thing that I am looking forward to with the Switch 2, since that's essentially kind of like a better version of download play. You could actually play Captain Toad Treasure Tracker online now, which is really cool. Yeah, Game Share will allow you to play it online.
Really?
Yeah, which I think that's awesome, actually, because that game previously wasn't. And you could also play it even if someone doesn't have a copy of the game, which I think is pretty cool.
That's really cool.
And you could share it with the Switch 1. So I think that's actually a really good feat, even though some of the things with the Switch 2 have been kind of weird. I think the game share thing has actually been one of the most consumer-friendly things that Nintendo has done for the Switch 2.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, like, I know 3D World already had online, but now, like, you could also, like, share it with someone who doesn't have the game if you want to play that.
I believe Bowser's Fury is also going to run, like, 60 frames per second in handheld now. Not doing that rampant.
Yeah.
That'd be like 1,000. You wanted to eat Billy Dogs willingly at too many games.
Yeah. But also, when we do that game chat kind of, like, video where we, like, test it out, I think we should play Captain Toad as the game that we kind of, like, try out.
That'd be cool.
As, like, an example. Yeah, because I think it's really cool, like, doing, like, Captain Toad online and everything. So
needs recognition, too. So that's what you call an underrated gem. Literally and figuratively.
Yeah, we really need a sequel to Captain Toad. I really hope it happens, because it's definitely one of my favorite games, that was originally on Wii U. And also, of course, I can't go on a stream without mentioning Paper Mario. Did you know that one of the characters from Captain Toad was actually, appeared in a Paper Mario game?
I did not know that. Oh wait, actually,
You know
yes. It's what's the character's name? The dragon.
Dragodon. Yeah, they appeared in Color Splash.
Mario Kart World looks great, but I hope they don't drop it like Mario Maker 2. Nintendo has a problem where they just never seem to get live service games right. They just don't.
Yeah, yeah. I have a feeling with Mario Kart World that at launch it will feel a tad underwhelming, and then but later on, because Mario Kart World does seem like a game that they would actually continually update because it's like a fairly popular game. I feel like more people would like go back to it later on and say like see it as like a game with like that's a little more interesting and like have utilized a decent amount of its potential. I think it's going to be kind like honestly I think that the best comparison to that is the retro games on Nintendo Switch Online. I mean, maybe not as extreme as that, but like when it started out, it was like extremely underwhelming. Again, I don't think Mario Kart World is going to be as underwhelming as...
Marcus, thank you for the donation! Very kind of you. Mario Kart World, but not releasing worldwide. It's coming to you eventually, I think. Nintendo just doesn't support some countries, which... It makes sense. You can't support every country. Some countries that are less developed, I don't think that Nintendo would want to bring the Switch 2 to Chad.
Yeah, I think the only problem, like, with, Marcus, with Malaysia, like, they have, like, full plans to, like, fully release it there and everything, like the other, Southeast Asian countries, but there's, like, something that hasn't been approved yet, which was kind of annoying. Marcus could tell you more about that, but...
I'm surprised it's coming to the Philippines. Like, Nintendo is not really known to have a presence there.
Yeah, I think Nintendo has been, like, expanding more into, like, Southeast Asia lately, from what I've heard.
I mean, they're doing more global expansions, like they're going to Brazil. I think they came back in 2021. Mario Kart World sucks because there's no SpongeBob. Wow, J-Plays finally is based.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're going to Brazil! Do you remember that one meme?
Oh, Smiling Friends, or it's another one?
No, it was actually a meme before Smiling Friends. Like, that's what they referenced. It was like a reference to that meme.
I get that episode was a joke, but I hated that episode.
They also referenced that meme in Anton Blast. Remember with the Freako Dragon?
Anton Blast, you know what? Just say screw Mario Kart World, get Anton Blast instead. It's $20, I believe.
Yeah,
has
you can play it on the Switch too.
What was that?
You can play it on the Switch too if anyone's getting one.
Yeah. The Virgin Mario Kart World versus the Chad Anton Blast. Or
Fast Fusion. I think that game looks incredible. I actually emailed the developer Shinin Media or Multimedia to get a review copy because I really want to review that game. I think it looks really cool. It looks really impressive, and it's kind of like a spiritual successor to F-Zero. So
yeah, but
I definitely think that
the thing with Pizza Tower is, unfortunately, it's not really going to be fully compatible day one. Although Pizza Tower is phenomenal, both Anton Blast and Pizza Tower are excellent games. But if you're looking for something a little more like Wario Land, I think Anton Blast is better for that. No, that's just a dumb video. That had nothing to do with the roster. They did that in Mario Kart Tour. That's when they focused on Mario characters in Mario Kart. And I'm glad that they went that direction.
Actually, I looked it up, and 3D All-Stars did get an update for Switch 2. It's just like, it says, several adjustments have been made to improve gameplay on Nintendo Switch 2.
When's it coming?
I think it's out now.
Is it gonna be like 60 frames?
I don't know. There's really no way to test it yet since the Switch 2 isn't out yet. But they updated it. Oh, wait! Pikmin 3 Deluxe also got an update. I wonder if Thousand Year Door might actually be getting an update even though they didn't announce it yet. That would be incredible.
The new update has Lord Crump's story. It's like a single-player campaign just focused on Lord Crump. Is Galaxy 2 an adjustment?
Oh, Xenoblade got an update too. Xenoblade 3.
Oh, I thought you were
Let me
gonna say
see.
X.
Yeah, well, yeah, 3. If 3 got an update, I feel like X might also get an update. But yeah, a bunch of I'm gonna look on the Nintendo website because a lot of games that they didn't even like announce the beginning updates are getting updates for Switch 2. Like I'm pretty sure like some of them are like 60 FPS or like
Yeah,
just
it's
like
no
higher
wonder.
resolution.
It's no wonder that Mario Kart World didn't have development time. They were too busy updating their actual Switch 1 games. I was gonna tell you, like, we were talking about the sodium chloride Nintendo channels. You know what those are?
Wait, what was that again?
Sodium chloride Nintendo videos and channels. What they are their videos with big words in the title or like buzzwords like
Yeah.
manufactured hype just to make the argument like sound intelligent when the reality is it's a nothing burger of an argument. Did you see that people are saying that hype for the Switch 2 is manufactured?
Yeah, the Nintendine video.
It wasn't just that, Dreamcast guy made one.
Yeah, and the thing is with Nintendine, I actually like his channel. I agree with a lot of his points. Though I do feel like sometimes he does go a bit far and just makes some videos just because he was getting a lot of momentum off of the Nintendo Switch 2 criticism. Like I said, I do think a lot of his points are valid. But I do feel like sometimes, like, also the one, like, Nintendo's gaslighting use, yeah, I think some of them
It's
just
ridiculous.
can be a bit, yeah, it's like, I think, I would say probably, like, 70% of the time, he makes a pretty good point, and I could see where he's coming from, even when I disagree with him. But then, sometimes I feel like it's like, oh, he's just kind of going, he just
It's-
makes some kind of crazy video just to kind of go off of the momentum
It's
of the
called
views
grasping
he's
for
getting.
straws. That's one thing I avoid. Like, if I don't have a topic for
Yeah.
a video, I won't make it.
Yeah.
He's not Arlo, he doesn't sound like him. I like Nintendine's videos, but I feel like some of them are definitely reaching. But he's a good YouTuber
Yeah, also-
overall.
Also, the one where he said, like, actually, I need to find it. It was, like, about the, power of the Switch 2. He said it was, like, embarrassing for 2025. And I'm like, do you really expect the Switch 2 to be as powerful as a PS5? Like,
I mean,
I
just-
think that's the...
Here's the thing. The Nintendo Switch 2 is a portable console. You can't really compare it to something as big and bulky like the PS5. And even when you do, it's still really impressive.
Yeah, I think all it needs is to run games as well as, like, the Xbox Series S and, like, a little better than the PS4 Pro, which is what it's doing right now. Like, the games, like, even though it's not, like, quite as powerful as the Series S, the games look on par with the Series S, which, like, current-gen games are releasing for that console, and I think that's perfectly fine for a console that's portable. I think that's actually really impressive for a console that's portable. So if they made the Switch 2 as powerful as the PS5, it would cost like $1,000, and it would be way bigger than it actually is. Because, like,
It's
the
massive.
the PS5 is so much bigger than the Switch 2. Like, you would need to make it a lot bigger, or like just make it so much more expensive. Because they're still developing the technology to make PS5 level consoles at the form factor of a Switch 2. That's
Right.
probably not going to be another few years from now until that's possible.
Hey,
So
Zayden,
I think
what's
the
up?
Switch 2. So I think what the Switch 2 is doing now is fine. Like, especially since it's more powerful than the Steam Deck as well. It's still like an upgrade from a lot of the stuff that we're used to right now in terms of like portable systems and things.
Yeah, the thing with... I mean, I don't blame Nintendo Land there. The thing is, it's like his job, and it's also... Nintendo Land's cool. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, I think even though his videos could come across as clickbait, like I've collabed with him before. He's pretty nice as a person, I would say. He's still pretty cool. I can understand how people feel about his videos, but at the same time, I still respect him, I would say.
Yeah, and he's just pretty much the Nintendo community's punching bag at the moment. They always have one. It was Arlo first, then me, then they go to Nintendo Land. For why?
Yeah.
Just some of the videos are a little clickbaity. Big whoop. Oh, he said the Mario Kart World Direct was crap. Big freaking whoop. Everybody thought it was crap. I'd say that's the worst Nintendo Direct of all time. It revealed nothing. That's worse than something like the Farm Direct, which at least had Pikmin 4. Actually, there's a good reason for that. GameCube is just too intense for the original Switch. I don't blame him there.
Unfortunately, Thousand Year Door didn't get an update yet. I was really hoping it would, but
what about Xenoblade X?
Xenoblade X, let me check.
I really want to play more of the game, but if it's getting like 60 frames per second, why play it on the original Switch?
It hasn't gotten an update yet, unfortunately. I feel like over the next few days, they might update more, like, Switch 1 games, because, like, a bunch of games, like, even more than the ones they announced, got updates, so...
I'd love to see that thumbnail. Nickelodeon forgot about SpongeBob. That would be hilarious. But Sega didn't. That's crazy to think that in Mario Kart World, we're missing 200cc, but in Sonic Crossworlds, you got freaking SpongeBob.
Also, I think it's kind of crazy. Pikmin 3 Deluxe got an update, but not Pikmin 4.
Does it say if it included mouse controls or anything like that?
Wait, let me see. Partially alleviated an issue that occurs when playing on Nintendo Switch 2 when the entire screen flickers during some scenes in the game, such as when a day starts and ends. We will be releasing an update in the near future that fixes this completely. Okay, so it doesn't really add anything, it just fixes an issue. Xenoblade 3 might make the game run better. 3D All-Stars, I'm not sure if that's doing anything.
I did see that, but the immersion of it being back into SpongeBob's past is ruined when you have those dumb parents that aren't actually Patrick's parents. So, Demeech, what are the negative points about Switch 2? Well, the system itself, it lacks a D-pad on the Joy-Con, and the UI is not as charming as the Wii U. I don't really have an issue with the system itself, but it's Mario Kart World, lacking features. In case you weren't here for it, just to recap, it's lacking 200cc, 3 battle modes, fan favorite characters are missing, like Diddy Kong and Funky Kong, and also 32 tracks is too low. But...
You know one...
Go on.
I was gonna say, you know one thing about the Switch 2's UI, even though it looks kind of boring, and I'm a little disappointed about that, I do like the sound effects. I do think the sound, like...
I like those too. That's why I said it's not as charming, even though it does have charm. It just needs more love, charm, and passion put into it.
Yeah, I think it's like a step better than the Switch's, I would say. Like, I wish they did put, like, more charm into it, but it's like... I do like the sound effects, and I think... I'm not sure if you heard, but, like, when you were setting up the console, it has, like, music now, and it kind of sounds like a bit like Wii U 3DS era-esque.
That's nice.
And I'm not sure if, like, any other parts of the UI will be getting music, or, like, the settings might get music. I don't know. But I did like the setup music from, like, the leaked videos that I heard.
Now, I was gonna say that, like... Oh, let's see. Nintendo has always had great sound design. Yes, they have. But I'm just thinking about, like... No, it's really just Mario Kart World, the price of some games, and Switch 2 editions. That's the main problem with it. They're big problems. But hey, Donkey Kong Bonanza is exempt from them. Donkey Kong Bonanza is going to be a banger! No issues there.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like for Bonanza... I feel like that's probably going to be one of my favorite games of all time, like, easily. It's, like, Mario Kart World, like, I think that's just, like, I might be amazed by it, but I might be underwhelmed. I think I'm
Could be
still kind of like I kind of have to wait and see because of the things in it. But Bonanza, that like just everything I've seen, I'm immediately sold on that one. It just looks incredible.
There's no doubt in my mind about Bonanza, like there is for Mario Kart World. Also, Reese, what do you think about the Nintendo fans just gloating about pre-orders selling out? Like, yeah, the boycotts really worked. And yes, I do like RGT85.
Honestly, I think that might be like I know this isn't everyone, but I think it might be some people who are like jealous that they didn't get a Switch 2 or like didn't get a pre-order, and they're just like it.
No,
I don't know
what
that.
I'm referring to. I'm referring to, like, you know how there are people gloating about Nintendo selling out of pre-orders, stuff like that?
Yeah.
I don't understand what they have to gain from it. Like, are we celebrating $80 games now?
And you know the thing is, like, even if you do like I mean, I'm looking forward to the Switch 2, but I mean for like anyone who's like just like looking forward to like a game or a console or something, the sales really aren't like they really don't matter as much as you think they do. Like it like I don't like I love the Wii U even though it's sort of sold horribly. Like I just feel like some people are obsessed with sales. Like it somehow validates their purchase that it's a successful console or something like that. I think that's kind of how some people feel about that, but honestly, I don't really care. Like, if I buy a console that sells poorly, as long as I enjoy it, I'll still, like the console and everything. It's like, but if there's a console that, like, or a game that sells really well, and I hate it, then I, like, that doesn't really, like, matter at that point. Like, it's like Scarlet and Violet. Like,
if you ignore the game, then it's amazing.
Well, at that point, I'm actually like kind of like I kind of feel the opposite way with that. I kind of like am annoyed by the fact that it sold so well,
Yeah.
even though it's kind of obvious why it sold so well.
They're the
It's
worst.
Pokemon.
They're the worst freaking Nintendo games ever made. They go against the principle of Nintendo's quality as standard. They're completely broken, not just in terms of performance, but the open world's not even an open world. There's no level scaling. And even with the performance update, it's still gonna suck. I freaking hate the game. And I will never defend it.
Yeah. And it's not even like a game that I can at least like mess around with that I hate, like Paper Mario Sticker Star. Like Scarlet and Violet,
Sticker Star is not a very creative game. It's a combination of ideas that just don't flesh well. They just don't mesh well, I meant. But at least it's a functional game, and at least there was some, like, care put into it. You can't say the same for Pokemon, but that's old news at this point. The thing is... Yeah?
I was gonna say, and at least the Paper Mario series recovered from Sticker Star at this point, since we got Thousand Year Door, but Pokemon, it just seems like unfinished games will just be the future of the series at this point. It just seems like all of the games will be super underwhelming and lazy.
Yeah, the thing with Pokemon Sword and Shield is that, and thank you Paper Bros for being a member. I'm actually going to be releasing the lost episode of Trash or Treasure, where it's Pokemon Scarlet and Violet versus Pokemon Sword and Shield. It's going to be members exclusive. It's mostly just the audio and stuff like that, so it's not like a full-on episode, but you're going to hear my full comparison of the two games. And it's definitely interesting. It's definitely interesting just seeing the comparisons between the two. But it's like, I just really stopped making Pokemon videos because no matter what you say or what you do, it's like talking to a wall. The fanboys are going to love the games, they won't get better, and it's just like, there are too many other good series out there. It's good to just move on.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is with those Nintendo fanboys gloating about pre-orders selling out and stuff, I predict that pre-orders will sell out. I predict that it's going to sell incredibly well, probably break records at launch. But after launch is going to be the true testament, especially when it comes to parents and casuals. Because I've talked to parents about the Nintendo Switch 2. Some said that maybe they'd get it for their kids. Others said absolutely not because it's too expensive. But us diehard Nintendo fans, of course we're going to get it. It's just, you can't celebrate too soon if you're a fanboy. And also, you shouldn't be celebrating it either way. I mean, it's nice when something you like sells well, but at the same time, Nintendo's well-being doesn't really matter to you unless you're a Nintendo YouTuber. And even then, it's just like, okay, if they do well, cool, I'm just gonna make content regardless. Wii U sold out at launch. That's food for thought right there. You guys, I'm gonna be wrapping up the stream for about 4 more races, but if we get more Super Chats, I will continue the stream for another 30 minutes or so. So keep those Super Chats coming, and we'll continue the stream.
Also, I was gonna say, do you want to, since we're kind of, like, you're gonna wrap up the stream fairly soon, do you want to play a couple rounds of Motel 6 versus Super 8? Bring that
but
back?
let's see, but before doing that, let's see if the chat has anything else to say about Mario Kart World and stuff like that, because I think we covered most of it. Wait, the ads are breaking the stream? Or there's like too many ads? Like if there's a technical issue, definitely gotta look into that. That's weird. That should not be happening. You think that Mario Kart World's undercooked? It's weird because I don't think it was like completely undercooked. I just think that the priorities were not set straight. Like Nintendo just did some weird stuff with it. And also I do think that there's an aspect, it's just like, how do you not have 200cc? How do you not have it?
And you know, the thing is, I feel like some games, when you say, like, unfinished, people assume it's like, oh, they, like, rushed the game, but I don't think that's always the case. I think sometimes games are deliberately unfinished. Like, they don't add a feature because they don't feel like it, or just, like, or they'll see, like, if they could just add it later on. I feel like some things are deliberately unfinished sometimes. But I'm not sure how you feel about that.
It depends. I think some things would be intentional, but like 200cc, the 3 battle modes, what the hell? It's really shaping up to be Mario Kart New Horizons.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a good thing.
Yeah. And I mean, I really like New Horizons, but
wow,
I can't deny
$80 game. It's an $80 product. I can wow about it as much as I want.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I really...
Thank you for the donation.
But I really like New Horizons, but I can't deny that it did feel kind of lacking at launch. And I feel like a lot of the things that were added later should have been added to the game at launch. It's just really weird how they handled it. It's...
Yeah. With Animal Crossing New Horizons, it's just like, I'm a more casual Animal Crossing fan, so some of the omissions didn't directly impact me, but Mario Kart, on the other hand, it's like, I know exactly what the games are supposed to be like. I know what content they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Koopalings like make up a big percentage. I used to defend
Honestly,
$80 games as long as the content's substantial. Now I'm taking it back. No, it's dumb. I think SpongeBob meeting Sonic's it actually works quite well. I don't know how, but it's just like, I guess I've just been hanging out with Riders DX too much. Froucher, thank you for the donation, and we'll be continuing for 30 more minutes. How many units do you think the Switch 2 will sell by the end of its life? I am guessing at least 80 million. Lowballing 70 million.
I'm thinking it will sell, like, a little better. I'm thinking between, well, a little better than the 3DS, that's what I meant. I'm thinking, probably between the 3DS and the Wii, like 70, 80 million, I'm thinking, like, probably around there, like what you were saying. at most, I think it could sell like 110 million. Like if it actually like takes off a little bit. But I'm thinking just if it's gonna be like moderately successful, I'm thinking like around what you were saying.
I really don't see it being as successful as the original Switch. We really just have to see how parents and casuals react to it. That's the market that is like crucial. It's not just us Nintendo fans who would get it regardless.
Yeah, but are you almost ready for
Let's ask
Hotel
the
6
chat
with the
what
Super
they
8?
want. Alright. It's so weird that they did Dread super well. I know! Prime 4, they really should market that game more. It's so odd that they haven't. No, I don't think that Nintendo's ever going to get to that. Where they're going to be like Sega and just go third party.
Yeah, like the thing is with Nintendo, I feel they have like enough money to last decades. Like even if they released like a bunch of failed consoles in a row, they would still be fine because of how much money they have. It's like it would take like just a massive failure for them to like ever like if they released like 3 Wii U failures in a row,
Yeah.
I think like
That's
that would
what
cause
would do
them to do that. Yeah, but like if there's like one console that like doesn't do that well, like they're gonna be fine after that. They're really not gonna.
Nintendo's just... They've got a little bit of an ego with the Switch, too. Yeah, I could see Xbox going that route. Nintendo is not going to go third party anytime soon. I don't think Sony would either. But Xbox, definitely. I honestly think that Xbox as a brand is pretty much dead. Like, as a dedicated console. What they're doing... Whoa, what the hell just happened there? What they're doing is they're turning Xbox into a platform and not so much an actual system that's, you know, worth getting. Because pretty much everything's on the PS5. The only selling point the Series X has is backwards compatibility and it's slightly more powerful. I've had mine for 3 years and I've yet to find any exclusives that are worthwhile. Switch, I think a lot of people are just not hyped for the Switch 2 because of the underwhelming generation of PS5 and Xbox Series X. But no, Nintendo's going to supply us with the goods.
Yeah, also, what are your thoughts on I'm not sure if you've mentioned this that much, but what are your thoughts on the game key cards? Because I think they're really stupid. I think they're really because some people are saying, oh, at least they're physical games, but the thing is, I feel like they neither have the benefits that digital or physical games have, and they have the inconveniences of both. So they're pointless, in my opinion.
My favorite Virtual Boy game is cliche, but it's Virtual Boy Wario Land. See, the game keycards is something interesting to bring up, because I don't think they're as bad as digital games. Well, I don't buy digital games if there's a physical equivalent, because digital games are NFTs, they're not freaking tangible. I don't think they're as bad as the scratch cards. But at the same time, it's a waste of plastic that could be used for bloonies. Bloonies.
Yeah. Yeah, also, remember that one Reddit post that I sent you about, like, someone said... Actually, let me find it here real quick. It was crazy. Yeah, the post was, this is why not owning your games isn't necessarily bad. Or, like, are you
so
actually...
dumb
like
and desperate to defend Nintendo?
Yeah, it's like it's crazy. Like not owning your games. Like, do you not want to own something that you bought? Like, it's ridiculous. I don't understand why someone would defend that. It's like, but like, let me see. Like, there's one very like shill-esque like comment in that thread that I saw. Let me find it here. Yeah, they said, like...
It's also a gargantuan waste of plastic.
Yeah, but basically they said about the game ownership, they said, why would you need to have 100% ownership over your console just to play some games? Xbox Game Pass is great for Xbox users, and they're not complaining about not owning their games. They just shut up and enjoy the games.
Sounds a lot like North Korea.
Yeah. Yeah. When they said shut up and enjoy the games, that kind of reminded me. If you ignore the game, it's amazing.
I don't know what's the funniest Nintendo excuse. I think that Nintendo games aren't unfinished, they're just incomplete. We'll take the cake due to how absurd it is. But there are some other good ones out there. Like, if you ignore the game, it's amazing is another good one. If you're just unlucky, if you have bad performance in a game, that one's classic. But if you ignore the game, it's amazing is like the best one.
Yeah. Also, do you want me to read another one of their crazy comments here? I'll read it in like the
dude.
I this one comment makes me think it's a troll. But the only reason why I think they could actually be legit is because they regularly post on like this Nintendo subreddit and like actually have like serious posts about Nintendo for the most part. So like it sounds like something that a troll would say, but like I'm honestly like this might actually be like someone's legitimate opinion, but I'll read it in the funny shill voice.
They could be like Harmon Smith and be like completely serious about it, despite how absurd it sounds.
Yeah, but let me read one of these comments here. If you delete games on your if your SD card breaks, that's on you. You had the responsibility over that, and you don't know how to manage your games. Then just find an alternative or double check before deleting the game. It's not that hard. And why would anyone get a Switch 2 once the server shut down? They could just get a new Nintendo console.
That is crazy. That's like...
They're basically telling you to buy a whole new Nintendo console. Like a whole other console if servers shut down.
We got another super chat. Gotta say thank you, Viper Violet, for the donation. This may sound like a tangent, but it's a common problem in gaming communities. I really hope people stop hyper-focusing on sales figures for games. Yeah, the thing with that is, are we talking about, like, you know, just talking about, oh, the game sold so well, like, gloating about that? Because if we're talking about that, that is just, like, that's just, like, nerdy behavior right there. Not the fun kind of nerdy either. That's like bubble bass behavior right there.
Actually, the Pokemon games have sold so well. I think that they are great experiences you shouldn't judge because they sold so well.
And that's where you break out the meme. You know what else sold well in the 80s? Crack! Yeah, just because something sells well doesn't mean it's of good quality or good for you. I mean, they sell alcohol. Honestly, that's terrible for you.
You know, I feel like some people, like, when they're, like, defending the, like, certain games, or, like, I feel like a lot of people want to try to justify their purchase a lot of the time. It's sunk cost fallacy, basically. Like, they want to try the show that they didn't waste their money, and they just want to try to go as far as possible trying to defend something and acting like their purchase was justified.
I also think it's a little bit of denial. Like, nobody wants Mario Kart World to be underwhelming. Some people just will never admit it, like how they never admit that Pokemon games, as of recent, are just unacceptable. And no, I don't think that the tariffs have anything to do with physical games costing more.
The only thing that it affected was, like, the accessories. And I don't think it affected the price of the console, either.
I feel like if you're talking about sales, you should just vouch for the series that don't get enough love. That's when you should focus on sales. You shouldn't use sales numbers to validate your opinion or anything like that. Personally, it's just like...
Yeah.
I was thinking about whether or not I wanted to make a video about Pokemon Legend Zaza, and the game just has to do something either like so noteworthily good or so bad. I'm not gonna say I won't do it. I think that at some point I'll probably want to cover it, but it's like I don't really have much of a desire to continue playing Pokemon games. I didn't get the DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I just said, yeah, I'm not supporting that.
I just sold my copy, or traded it in for Sonic Adventure 2 Battle on GameCube.
You have no idea how good of an investment that was. That game's like
Best
over
decision.
100 now, I think.
Oh, nice. So that's good that I actually got that at the time that I did. So yeah, that was one of the best decisions I've ever made. Trading in some horrible slop for peak.
Peak fiction. Reese, unfortunately, it doesn't look like the chat is down for Motel 6 versus Super 8 tonight.
That's okay. I could do it another time.
It's okay. I'll sleep on the floor.
Now let's see. Play as... Well, let's see. What characters aren't going to be in Mario Kart World? The metal characters I don't think are going to be there. Unless they're a costume. That'd be cool. Like, what if there's a gold Mario costume?
Also, one thing that annoys me about Mario Kart World's roster is the fact that the costumes are, like, separate slots. Like,
I haven't really talked about that, but it is very messy.
Yeah.
Actually, I just found a list of games that are getting updates. Alright, Xenoblade 3, both Zelda games, Super Mario 3D with Bowser's Fury, Super Mario Odyssey, Captain Toad, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, both 2D Zelda games. Hiccups Game Builder, Garage, Clubhouse games, Super Mario 3D All-Stars Wonder, Star Allies. Oh, Dream Buffet!
Oh,
Can
wow.
you check and see what update Dream Buffet is getting? Like, if it's going to improve performance?
Yeah, let me check. I've Dream Buffet.
Dream Buffet is an excellent game.
Several adjustments have been made to improve gameplay. So maybe, like, a better frame rate, I'm guessing.
I really hope so. That'd be nice. Resolution boost.
Star Allies, very likely frame rate for that.
Oh,
Oh,
definitely.
Mario Wonder! Mario Wonder got an update, too. I'm not sure if you mentioned that.
It did?
Yeah.
What is it doing?
Let me see. Several adjustments. I don't know. Maybe probably the same as what U Deluxe is getting.
I think that with Mario Kart World, with Switch 2, you're probably just going to need to update your library before, like, playing Mario Kart World. The thing is, I ordered mine online, so if everything goes according to plan, I will be getting the Switch 2 around 9 a.m. and Mario Kart World in the afternoon. So the first game I might be playing is, like, an update or Fortnite, something like that. Oh! Easily just the potential for new games. Even if Mario Kart World's a little bit... I'm not sure what the word is. Even though I'm concerned about Mario Kart World, I am not concerned in the slightest about Donkey Kong Bonanza, so I'm going in with confidence that that game is going to be one of my favorite games of all time. I just like the idea of new possibilities, new games, everything like that. Yeah, Nintendo's greed sucks, but I'm not going to deny it. I'm hyped. I'm very hyped. I'm getting a Switch 2 day one.
Yeah, I think it's good to have nuance. Like you could be excited about something and critical of some aspects of it at the same time. Like we've both made both positive and critical videos of Nintendo over the past couple months. So I think it's a perfectly normal and healthy thing to do like about like a console.
Right, exactly. And it's just like, yeah, we talked about it a little bit before, but it goes both ways. You got the fanboys, of course, and then you got the channels that are just like grasping for straws, making the sodium chloride videos.
Yeah,
Do you know?
and I would say, and you know, I was gonna say, I feel like the true Nintendo fans that actually care about Nintendo aren't afraid to criticize them, but aren't going to the lengths of the sodium chloride videos, like you said. Like, I think there's a sweet spot, I would say, like us, I would say.
That's what I
in
said.
Most people in the chat, yeah.
Sodium
But
chloride.
I think, yeah, but I think, like, I feel like a really, like, a good Nintendo fan isn't afraid to point out the flaws of Nintendo and want them to improve. I think if you're a fan of something, it's completely normal to be critical of that thing.
I will say, one of my favorite Nintendo YouTubers, Joshi, he does a good job with that, even if I disagree with him. Sometimes his criticisms are harsh, but he says it from the heart. He loves Nintendo. But I feel like some other Nintendo channels, the sodium chloride ones, it's just like, do you really see them even playing Nintendo games? They're not even Nintendo fans.
Yeah.
They're just doing
Like, I feel like,
not out of passion,
I
but
feel like
just for clout.
yeah.
I'm excited to see if there's a Nintendo Direct coming soon, what they're going to include. Because we definitely are going to get... This is going to be the year of Nintendo, for sure.
Yeah. I think, like, a Direct could, like, show, like, finally, like, the reveal date, or the release date of Metroid Prime 4,
I mean,
as
it's a
well
long
as,
time
like,
coming.
the gameplay of Kirby Air Riders, maybe another holiday title, details about Mario's 40th anniversary. 45th is Pac-Man. But
I think they're going to do that for September.
yeah, I think September would make sense for that, but honestly, I'm thinking like maybe they might do like Switch 2 editions of some Mario games, like for like actually like some substantial content, like maybe like something for Thousand Year Door, or like maybe I'm trying to think, like maybe Mario Wonder could get some extra content. And I had a really cool idea for like a 40th anniversary Mario game. Basically a full remake of Mario 64, but like have the content from Mario 64 DS and even the mini games on top of that, and use the mouse controls and the mic to like basically kind of remake those 64 DS mini games. And also, like, have, like, full multiplayer, bring back the idea that 64 DS was originally going to do with Mario 64 times 4 with that, like, and actually, like, also have, like, the thing where you could switch between the different characters, but you actually, like, switch between them seamlessly.
Right.
So I think that would be really cool if they did, like, a remake of, like, Mario 64 DS or something like that, since it might be a little longer until we get a brand new 3D Mario game. So I was thinking they might do that for the 40th anniversary.
Right.
And it would also like use it to like push the game share thing, since like 64 DS had like download play, like a remake could do like game share.
You just lower it a little bit. I mean, they're probably going to do more updates with game share and stuff like that. But in terms of, like, Switch 2 editions, honestly, I don't want them to do too many. Mostly because I worry about, like, what happened with some of the Wii U ports. But now we actually know the real story behind Mario Kart World, where it was going to be a Nintendo Switch game, but they just couldn't incorporate what they wanted to. There was never the real argument of, oh, the reason they didn't make it is because 8 Deluxe sold so well, it's going to cannibalize the sales. That's not how it works. It just... They took the opportunity to just capitalize on it, because there wasn't really a major rush to get out the sequel, because... It's not because cannibalizing sales. I think Nintendo just has more than enough money.
Yeah. But, I'm gonna have to go now. I have to do a few things, so...
Well, nice seeing
But
you,
yeah.
Reese. I'm looking forward to Thursday. Anything you have to say before the Nintendo Switch 2 launch? We might be streaming tomorrow, though.
Yeah. I might be able to join. But, yeah, but yeah, anyways, stay perky.
Stay perky. You guys subscribe to Reese. He just reached 30,000, so get him to 31,000. He is the best source for Nintendo news. And he doesn't pay his employees in ramen. The intermissions just kind of reek, though. That's a problem. I played them at the Nintendo Switch 2 experience, and while they were at 100cc, there's just not a lot going on. They're not very interesting. Mind lowering the volume just a little bit? Thanks. So I think we're going to do Snowland. I'll get the pipe frame. I'm going to end it with my main or the first character I ever played as in Mario Kart World, which is Lakitu. Another thing I wish about the costumes is that I wish that they reference more games. You kind of had a reference to Game & Wario, but still. I like that about Donkey Kong Bonanza. I'm so glad that they're taking the risk, and instead of having 3D Mario, they're doing a 3D Donkey Kong near launch. That's great. And I can see that people are just as excited for Donkey Kong Bonanza as they are for Mario Kart World. Like, my fear for Donkey Kong Bonanza is that because Tropical Freeze unfortunately didn't leave that much of an impact sales-wise, I just thought, okay, maybe this series is going to be a little more obscure now and it'd struggle to, you know, gain hype or stuff like that. But no, people are very excited for it, and that is amazing to see. That right there is the highlight for me with Nintendo Switch 2. July 17th can't come soon enough. And I played the game for 40 minutes, so if you haven't seen it already, or if you just want to hear it again, I did a video about my full thoughts on the demo for Donkey Kong Bonanza. Let me just say this, someone commented, "Wow, Dimitri, you're so positive. Are you being held hostage at the Nintendo Switch 2 experience?" And it's like, I mean, if I could play Donkey Kong Bonanza and don't have to wait until July 17th, by all means, do it! Hold me hostage and make me play Donkey Kong Bonanza. I think that most characters are unlockable in Mario Kart World. I saw Donkey Kong's unlockable. And it really just depends if the unlockable criteria is like something creative, like in Mario Kart Wii, or if it's something like, oh, just win the Grand Prix, that's it. I don't understand why Biker Wario is not a costume. It's interesting that they'll reference WarioWare, but not so much Wario... Or, actually, no! That is WarioWare. Game & Wario is kind of WarioWare. If you guys haven't heard it, the song from the Pirate minigame in Game & Wario is really cool. Watch my moves, try to keep up. That is one of the games that's probably going to stay on the Wii U forever. But it's a great game. It is amazing. I love it. I do like the weird, obscure characters, too. Yeah, we saw what happened with Harmony, so I don't think that they're doing that. Alright, you guys, we're going to wrap up in about 7 minutes, so we're going to do 2 more rounds. Let's see. Bowser Jr. is a good character. That joke has been made so many times, but I mean, Diddy Kong was gonna come back regardless. He's Donkey Kong's sidekick. I wonder. That's interesting. Thank you for joining Paper Bros, and thank you for becoming a channel member. Helps the channel out greatly. Keeps me doing this full time. And you have a great night. It definitely could have worked better. I think that game should have been ported. But it was built around the gamepad, so maybe it'd be hard. Those songs from the Donkey Kong Country cartoon were hilarious. But what are you guys more hyped for? Are you more hyped for Donkey Kong Bonanza, or you're more hyped for Mario Kart World? Or hyped equally for both of them? Because with Donkey Kong Bonanza, my hype's 10 out of 10. Mario Kart World, it's kind of like 50-50. I'm very excited to play the game. I don't think I'm going to go back to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, regardless of any of its flaws. But at the same time, it's just like, I was kind of expecting something incredible, not just good. But as for the other games, I'm very excited for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. I'm very excited for Kirby Star Cross World. That's a game that's not getting talked about enough, and while it is sort of a side thing, it's kind of like New Super Luigi. John, thank you for the donation. Banana Slammer.
Got any banana cream pie, little buddy?
Oh, that's just a bad cartoon. Just like with the voice acting, everything. I mean, I'm probably going to have a great time with it. But thank you for the super chat. Bowser's Fury is yeah, that's kind of what it's like. It's essentially the Bowser's Fury for Kirby. And that's great. It's nice having like 2 3D platforming games that we know of in 1 year. Could be 3D Mario. I think we're going to see 3D Mario sometime this year, even if it doesn't release. Unless Pokemon's a Christmas title. That's always fun. Like in 2009. Or actually, no, you could argue Luigi's Mansion 3 was that. I don't really focus on the meta stuff like that. I'm mostly just concerned about things like amount of content, modes, stuff like that. You gotta be kidding me. I need to upgrade my computer. Viper Violet, thank you for the donation. If you don't binge the entire Metroid series before its 4 comes out, I will make Nintendo release Donkey Kong Bonanza in parts for use. No, you better not do that. That is not going to happen. Although I probably should do that. Are they long games? I have the trilogy. I have it for the Wii, but I do have Metroid Prime Remastered, so that's the one I'm going to play. We reached the Super Chat goal. Thank you guys for all the donations, all the support. You guys are awesome. And yeah, this definitely helps me keep doing this full time. So for the final character of the night, we're going to do Gold Mario. Roboto, yeah. I think Mount Wario is actually a pretty good choice, but I'm fine with any of these tracks. I miss it, but as long as Nintendo has Nintendo Directs, it's fine. Now you have enough money to buy Mario Kart World? Made about like 56. And now we begin the final race of tonight. No Zaza tonight. I mean, going back to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, look how beautiful Mount Wario is. I really wish that Nintendo did something like this with the visual presentation for Mario Kart World's tracks. Keep the animations and character designs, but man, tracks here are just outstanding even to this day. It was mind-blowing. It was absolutely mind-blowing playing Mario Kart 8 for the first time. And I will be doing a full send-off to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with a full-on retrospective It's going to be with a ton of other YouTubers and my friends too, so that's going to be very exciting. I'm aiming to release it next weekend. It's going to be very busy with the Switch too, but still. It's going to be a momentous occasion. It isn't Mario Kart without constantly getting hit by items. I'm actually happy you didn't get Mario Kart 8 Deluxe during the Switch's life, because now I can just get it with my Switch 2 instead of Mario Kart World. Crazy. I think Mario Kart World's still going to be good, though. You might just want to wait a little bit, because that's the gaming landscape we're in. You know what didn't have games you needed to wait for to have a jam-packed amount of content? GameCube games! I'm actually going to be doing a full-on video about GameCube games coming to Nintendo Switch or Nintendo Classics. So in that, I'm going to be talking about how incredible it is finally being able to replay GameCube games. So I'm probably going to get that out by tomorrow or Thursday. But yeah, this is all very exciting. I think this was a very nice stream to do, because I know a lot of people are feeling the same way. But yeah, let's check the rankings and see how everyone did. Your thoughts about Mario Forever? That was the one I played for the video retrospective I did on it. It's a great recreation. That's the ideal way to play it, because there's no way you can get a virus. I did use Reddit tomorrow, mostly in 2022. I still look at it sometimes, but I don't really post on it anymore. So let's see who won. Alright, Meta13 at 402, Mitomo at 219, followed by Oblida, Demich, Paper, Marcus, Soshi, JJ, McChicken, Mike, Superbud07, Lucas, and Daniel. Thank you guys for joining the stream, and keep calm and da-da.